User joined your channel.
Hello and welcome to Charlotte Motor Speedway for the TMB Ventures 120, the first race of two. Tonight's race will be determining the inside row for Thursday's 450-mile season finale. I'm Carl, and in the booth with me tonight is Aaron Keith. And on pit road, we have Mark Arthur. We also have Paul Coleman. He's going to be joining us here tonight from inside his car. From time to time, we're going to try to get to him. As a matter of fact, I think right now he's out of the car, so we're going to go to him real quick for just a real quick pit road announcement. How you doing tonight, Paul?
Pretty good. How are you there, Carl?
We're doing good. Just getting excited here, getting ready for the big 120 here tonight, and a little bit of a rain delay. Had to get a little bit of a late start, but ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, that rain delay, we were kind of jazzed to get going there about 7 o'clock, but we've been delayed about an hour. Got a chance to get a nice dinner in us and whatnot, and looking forward to getting a run here, get ourselves a good starting spot for a Thursday night's race. In about 10 minutes or so, when drivers start coming back in here before the race, I'm going to try to catch up with a few of them, do like a little pit walk there for you guys as well, coming up here in about 10 minutes.
Oh, that'd be greatly appreciated. Like I said, tonight is going to be determining the inside row of Thursday's 450-mile season finale. And I believe we have Aaron Keith here. Are they still having some mic problems?
Over my radio, I hear that they're still setting up Aaron Keith's mic.
When you hit whisper...
Okay, I think Mark Arthur is right now working with Keith or Aaron Keith here to get him set up, get his mic ready to roll. How you doing tonight, Mark?
Pretty good. I think Keith's got it all set and ready to go now.
User was moved to your channel.
And we finally have Aaron Keith here with us. How you doing tonight, Aaron?
I'm doing well. How are you, Carl?
I'm doing really well here. Excited for tonight's race. Like I was saying before, I was reading some text messages here that you guys have been sending me back and forth. Now, you said you are not ready to set the pole position. That's going to be set for tomorrow, correct?
Yes. How we're doing that is because it would be unfair because we didn't set the pole in the original heats. It would be unfair if we take the inner line, which is this first heat, and then the winner of this would get the pole, and the winner of tomorrow would get the outside pole. What we're doing is the winners of either qualifying races will take their fastest time during the race, and then that will get the fastest lap time, and then that person will get the pole, and the other person will get the outside pole.
Okay, there you have it. So tomorrow night, the pole position will be set once we find out who the winner is and what the fastest lap time is by both of the winner tonight and tomorrow night. And tomorrow night's race will be another 120, and it will determine the outside row, excuse me. Having a hard time talking here. But just out here watching some of these guys out here tonight in warm-ups. We got Garrett Denton right now is running the fastest time with a 37.424. We got Dustin Adams out here running a 37.455. So these guys are running really close out here with their times. And this is going to prove to be a pretty good race tonight. How many cars do they take out of tonight's event to go into the season finale?
Well, Carl, we would theoretically be taking the top 22, but I believe we're probably going to be taking anybody who races due to the track holds 43. We would theoretically take 43, but I believe we have about 34 to 36 cars trying for qualifying positions for Thursday's final race of the season.
And from what I gather, you need at least 36 cars in the race in order to make the championship points a relevant race for Thursday. Am I correct?
I believe it's somewhere around there, Carl. I believe you're close to correct. I don't have the exact number. I know in our original estimates it was between 32 and 36, and what that is going to do is Mark Arthur, who is also joining us in the booth, he will have to start and actually race in the race in order to win the championship. If Michael Cozy goes on, wins, and leads all the laps and races 100% clean and starts in the rear and wins the race. So we have XCAL has various bonus points for various things you can do during the race, and one is leading the most laps. One is the hard charger award, coming from the farthest back to the farthest up front. And then the other one would be the safe driver award, which is the least amount of incident points.
So depending on how many cars we have in this race come Thursday, Mark, that's going to determine your strategy, I assume, because you're going to be trying to hold on to the points championship while Cozy's trying to catch you. So if we have enough cars where it's going to make it relevant, what is going to be, I know you're not going to want to give everything away, but here, what's going to be relatively your strategy for Thursday?
I don't mind giving it away. I mean, it's a long shot anyway. If he won it, I mean, coming from 152 backs, if he won it, I'd just, shake his hand and say, heck of a job. But I mean, because it's a mountain to climb for him, I think. But my strategy is basically going to be seeing. I mean, if there's 40 some cars, then I will start in the back and just take it easy, and just get up there and let them drop out. Because I know there's going to be a few accidents that just takes cars out, and that will, settle the championship right there. If it's close to 30, 32, 35, somewhere around there, I think I'm just going to go all out, get up front, try to lead a lap. Leading one lap gives me 6 bonus points, which would cut some of his bonus points possible out. If I could lead the most laps, would cut 15 more points out. So, I mean, every bonus point I could get basically makes it an impossibility for Cozy. So I think if it's close to the number of cars that need to start to give him a chance, I think I just get up front and try to lead as many as I can or get as many bonus points as I can.
Well, come Thursday, it's going to be a very long race. We're looking at 450 miles here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. What kind of preparation are you going to be making to get yourself settled in and ready to run that kind of a long race I know you guys like to run big, long races, but this is going to be one of the longest races you run. So how do you make yourself comfortable for a race that long?
Mark, you could take that one first.
I don't know how you really get comfortable sitting in front of a computer screen for 3 to 4 hours. You know, it's just, I don't know. I try to do everything. Yeah, I try to do everything I can just to, get all the bathroom business done. Try not to drink very much while I'm doing it because I know it's a long race and you don't have much chance to do anything. It's not like we're sitting in the car in our fire suit and can do whatever we want.
Speaking of drinking too much, I think I've already done that. But Paul, I'm going to throw that question off to you. What's your strategy? What are you going to do to make yourself comfortable, to get yourself ready for this weekend or for this Thursday night? Excuse me. I think Paul's mic might have stopped.
Oh,
There he is.
sorry about that. I did not understand that was for me. Sorry about that. What I'm going to do, like I said, definitely limit my fluid intake before the race. With 4 hours, that's the longest I have. I've made a couple of force feedback settings on my wheels so my arms don't fall off. And knowing that it takes about 2 minutes and 30 seconds to refuel a car on a full fuel load, if I need to make a real-life pit stop or get a stretch or something like that, make sure I time those properly.
Have a bottle close by. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
No, I don't do that. Luckily, I got a real restroom about 5 steps away from the computer. So, like I said, I got 2.5 minutes. I'll be able to make it there and back.
We've been running all week long here, running different qualifiers. Aaron, who we have so far that's been winning all week long? Who's not going to be having to worry about anything for the rest of this week now?
Well, we've had so many different heat races and practices that with this plate setup, I would say there's really a lot of people who have been running up front. Maybe only a few who haven't made it their way up front. So it's anybody's race. I would say, I've been fast. Mark has been fast in a limited amount of sessions. Michael Cozy's been fast. Brock Colson has been really fast, proving that he can get out and start to pull away, as we saw him in his heat race last week. It's anybody's game. We've even seen Jeremy Poole, who's a XCAL newcomer, who won a heat race last week. So it's really leveled the playing field for everybody here. And even though it still hasn't taken the driving capability out of the driver's hands like it does with NASCAR's plate. So it's definitely a unique structure we have here in iRacing, especially having a top groove here at Charlotte for the street stocks.
One of the things I wanted to ask here, we'll start off with Paul. He's going to be jumping in his car here pretty soon for practice. Paul, who's your pick for tonight's race? Besides
myself?
Besides yourself. Not allowed to pick yourself.
I'm going to go with either Brock Colson or Ryan Borges. I really like Ryan Borges, but he's starting way from the back. If he's able to make himself up through the field and stay out of trouble, Borges is your guy. If he runs into some problems, though, definitely Brock Colson.
Mark Arthur, same question.
I have to go with Garrett Denton. Garrett is, in real life, he races mini stock cars. He is extremely fast when he gets in these cars. He finds a way around the track somehow. Doesn't matter the setup. Right now he's sitting top of the board with very, very little practice with this setup. So I'd pick Garrett Denton.
Aaron, who do you got? Who's your driver for tonight?
Well, I knew Mark was going to steal Garrett Denton away from me, so I'm going to go with Stephen Wetton, who I've ran a lot with in these practice sessions. When we first released the plate, he was very unhappy. Didn't really like the way it was handling. Couldn't really get a hand for it or a feel for it. But after a lot of practice, a lot of hours put in, yeah, he's definitely proved that he can run with the best of them up front.
Well, I'm gonna have to be picking the 54 of Brandon Cruz Monsiváis. He's just now put on the new paint scheme there. He's running the high octane paint scheme for tonight, so he's gonna have to be my pick there. He's running second right now in the on the speed charts. So yeah, that'll be my pick for tonight. So
I
That'll
also
be-
have a dark horse pick too. If you'd like to hear that, is Kirk Mills. I mean, he's not. I mean, he's not up top of the leaderboard now, but every race I've raced him with, he's been up front, and he'd have to be my dark horse.
Well, with the street stocks, one of the things you don't hear too awful much is drafting. What kind of an effect does the draft have on these cars out here on this kind of a racetrack?
I notice less draft now. I mean, it used to be you could pull right up from about a second and a half back. I used to watch my relative and see the cars in front of me and think, well, if I could get it within a second and a half, then I'm going to be able to get some draft. And as I got closer, it seemed to get more. But now it seems to me if you get, anywhere from 0.8 to about a second back, that you kind of lose that draft and they begin to pull away from you. I think it's part of that percent deduction that they did in the last build that I think they took some of the draft out of all the cars, but some people are saying they feel more draft, but I don't feel it. I mean, I'm not able to pull up like I used to. With newer tires, I can seem to catch a pack of cars, but catching that single car is really, really hard to do if you get a half a second or more back, in my opinion.
And
I was
Carl,
able to get out of this. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I would second that. I would say I was testing this out in some of our early practices, and it seemed to be 0.8 of a second was really the kind of stretching it, and I was able to pull from 0.8 to 0.4 before a lap car got in my way. But it's really, like Mark was saying, it's really limited now. And but sometimes, because this setup is kind of a momentum setup now, sometimes you'll get that run. It will feel like you're sucking up, but a lot of times it's just that run, or the guys in front of you are running side by side, so it kind of opens that air pocket.
Well, tonight's going to be the longest race you guys have run. I know you've been doing a lot of practicing with this, but one of the things we have found out here with this new tire build is tires are now going to become part of the pit stop here. One of these things you have not seen with these guys here lately, or at all, really for them, for the most part, is tire changing. So tire changing now is going to become relevant. What kind of laps do you see on these tires?
Carl, when you first start out, when you first get some green rubber on your car, we're seeing times at kind of what they're running now at the top of the board, which I'm assuming these guys are running all these times with new tires. So we're looking at 37.4s, 37.5s. After about, depending on how well you take care of your tires in the first few laps, after about 5 to 7 laps, they drop off a half a second. And you'll see these guys start to having to back off a lot more. You'll probably see them single file out. Maybe you'll see the entire train of cars turn into several different packs running together. And then over a course of 40 to 50 laps, the tires start to melt and you start to lose fuel, and the car starts to loosen up a lot more, and you'll start to see these times pick up a little bit. But that doesn't mean they're going to be able to run side by side in a pack. It just means going single file, they're a lot faster. If they get side by side, they're probably going to have to back off still a lot more to give that guy an inside or outside room.
Well, I was running these some of these practices with you here this week, and I was trying different lines just to see how the car felt. The car didn't feel too much different in the higher line than it did the lower line, except for every once in a while you'd have to back out a little bit more when you're down on the bottom there. But when you're up in the top, it doesn't seem like you're getting any more speed, and you're able to actually go through these turns full throttle. But it still seems like you're scrubbing off a lot of speed when you're running the outside line. So is there any line that's really faster than another line, or are they pretty much equal?
Well, when you're running by yourself, the low line is definitely the way to go. That's and after, when the tires start to wear out, you'll have to back off a little bit, either going in, or some people like to drive it way down, hit that white line, and kind of back off as they ease into the middle of that corner, and then stomp on the gas coming off. But when you're side by side, I've noticed that there is an advantage on the outside if you can play it right. If you can pin that guy down on the inside, take away his line coming off, it may take a few laps, but you'll eventually be the one, coming off the corner and pulling away from the guy on the inside.
I know Paul's been busy down here on pit road here. He's looking for somebody to talk to. I hear he's got a couple drivers with him.
Yeah, I caught up with a couple drivers here. We got the 54 of Brandon Cruz. We got Rod Weston and Stephen Wetton's also hanging out somewhere in the background. First of all, Brandon, I believe it was either Aaron or Marks got you picked as the race winner tonight. So no pressure there. What's how you feel going in this race?
Well, I feel pretty confident. I think I got a good chance of getting a win, or at least the top three. I love this setup, and I like the racing, and it really fits my style, and I feel comfortable going into the night. And I'm just, I don't know, I'm just getting ready for it. From practice, I think I'm pretty much settled in. I like how my car feels, and I'm just, I don't know, and I don't know. It's just, I'm looking forward to it. I think I'm going to get a good finish from it.
All right, sounds good. You got a new sponsor, special sponsor for tonight's race?
Yeah, I definitely want to thank Carl Jones for making all this happen. I got the Championship Online Racing Association, otherwise known as CORA, and the High Octane Short Track Series from them on my front bumper, and also the help of Small Town Computers. They're making this happen for me, so I'm truly grateful for that.
Well, that's great. Best of luck out there, and now we know why Carl Jones has you as his pick tonight. Best of luck out there.
Yep, thank you.
Now we're standing here with Rod Weston. Rod, you've had some adversity this week with a couple of wrecked vehicles. You're in a car that we have seen before in Victory Lane. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, talk about pressure, hopping into a car that's won before and got to go out there. But a little apprehensive about the car. It seems to run well. I ran a practice heat with it last night and won, so I'm pretty excited about it. I hope I can keep it all in one piece so that we can run it on Thursday. Yeah, we've wrecked a few this week. Actually, I ran out of cars out of the stable. The car that we were planning on running got destroyed in the second pole qualifying heat. So we brought it back to the shop, and we thought we could save it. Got it up on the jig, and it wasn't going to happen in the time frame that we needed. So Peter Zeller was pretty nice of him to let me have one of his cars to use for tonight.
Sorry, that's good. We're getting call to grid here, so I'm going to let everybody go. We'll catch up with the rest of everybody after the race. Back up to you, Carl.
Indeed, these guys are getting onto the grid here now, getting ready for the 120 miles here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And quickly, we'll go down through here. We have on the pole, starting right now with the number 4 of Brock Colson. The number 2 position is going to be Jeremy Poole in the number 52 car. And in the third starting position, we have Steve Whitten in the number 23 car. The number 4 position, we have the 13 car of Dustin Adams. The 54 car of Brandon Cruz will be starting in the number 5 position. The 00 of PDJ Zeiler is in the number 6 position. 31 car of Kirk Mills will be running 7th. James Brown in the 33 car is going to be rolling off 8th. Chuck Smith in the 08 will be in 9th position. Rod Weston in the number 7 car will be rolling off in number 10 position. In the 11th position, we have the number 66 car of Paul Coleman Jr. In the 12th position, the 8 car of Randy Gerard. 13th position is going to be Ryan Borges. The 39 car of John Bastilla. I can't ever say his name. Is going to be rolling off in the 14th position. Batista. There we go, like the wrestler, John Batista. And in the 15th position, we have Alex Krasper. And in the 16th position, the number 99 of Garrett Denton. Didn't I feel good. Yes. No, it's Travis Brown. I thought I said Travis, did I? Well, James Brown is not out here running today because, well, that would be just kind of scary. But anyway, back on a serious note here. These guys are... Yeah, there are going to be a lot of people that are not going to be feeling good out here after the bumping and banging, so... Kind of a super speedway with a short track feel to it here, guys. As they bring them down there, or they are going to be bringing it to green next time by. The lights are off on top of the pace car. Brock Colson is going. It's going to be in his hands on the start here. He will start on the green. He doesn't get to start when he wants to. So as soon as the green flag drops, Brock Colson will be on the loud pedal. And Brock takes an early lead. Is able to get that number 4 car out in the front. Going into turn 1, Jeremy Poole is going to be on the outside, close behind. Stephen Witten's going to be following him. And Dustin Adams in the number 4 position.
Oh, we got one car. Who is that? The 08?
Chuck Smith.
Chuck Smith, just backing up. I don't know if he wanted to do that or if maybe he missed a gear on the start.
Could have got some of that wiggle, Aaron.
Yeah, I know. I was going to bring that up for the fans at home. The tire pressures in these cars are so low that going into turn 1, 2, cars are just wiggling back and forth until they can build up some pressure in a half a lap.
Yeah, when I was running these races here, I did notice that. You go into turn 1, and it was all I could do to hang onto that car to keep it. In one lane, I think I ended up in every single lane on the racetrack before I actually got into turn 2. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun.
We got one car coming to the back to the front in the hurry. It's Garrett Denton, just made it 3 wide, put at least half of his car in the grass and passed Batista in another car.
Well, definitely these guys are serious about this tonight because, like I said, this does determine the inside road for Thursday's race. So these guys are going to be wanting to pick up the positions. They might want to take it easy. They do have 80 laps to do this, and they don't. It's not like it's a 10-lap sprint. They have 80 full laps to get this taken care of. So let's take care of the cars and if you keep the car in. The only way you're going to finish first is you got to finish. So right now we're looking at Jeremy Poole and Steve Wetston. Excuse me. They are fighting for position here. Poole's going to go ahead and take the second position right behind Brock Colson. Brock Colson has... Actually, it was the other way around. Wetton is the one who took the second position, over Poole. And Brock Colson does have a I can't even think tonight. A 0.3 second lead right now, so not a very big lead for him, but we'll see what happens here as the laps wind down.
Yeah, Carl, we were doing some testing, and it appears that, driving by yourself for the entire time, you could get 78 laps in on a full tank. So, depending on how much the draft allows them to save some fuel, kind of backing off, going to the corner, following the other cars ahead of them in, there may be cars trying to not pit the entire race, and there may be some, coming in every time if there's a caution, or maybe having to make a small pit stop towards the end. So we'll be seeing several strategies.
Well, you get that many on a tank of fuel, but how many laps did you say we got on a set of tires though before the tires fall out to the point where they're totally undrivable?
Well, that's 110 to 120. So we won't be seeing that here. That will be more Thursday.
Yeah.
So they'll be able to make it the entire race on tires, but I bet if we get a caution, that won't be happening.
Right now, everything seems like it's calmed down. Everybody's decided let's go single file with this here, at least up to the top 10 positions. Right now we have all single file running. Matter of fact, all the way back through the field right now as we're looking at single file running. I don't see anybody that stepped out of line trying to make any passes. Everybody's just trying to get some laps under the belt, get the feel of the car, get these cars underneath them, get the tires to the point where they're knowing exactly where they're going to be out on the racetrack. Because one thing I did notice, even though you're able to put it to the floor early and hold it there, the car doesn't always want to stick. As we see the Brandon Cruz car, the 54 here, he's going to step it out and make it too wide, try to get around the 33 of Travis Brown, not James Brown.
And Carl, I'm actually surprised that everybody was kind of single file, because we're getting into that zone where the freshness is wearing off the tires, and if you really want to make a move and get some track position, you want to do it when you have that good that's still in your tire. So, as the laps wear down, we're going to start to, see more single file racing. So you really want to get all you can before your tires start to wear out.
Brandon Cruz is going to keep it down here to the inside of Travis Brown. Travis is going to try to pinch him down there and make him have to actually try not to keep that car from sliding up, which is a pretty uneasy feeling. You get down there, you know that these cars like to push up on the racetrack. You get somebody that's wanting to run it right on your door there, kind of making you have to back out a little bit more than what you really want to keep from getting up into that car. And we have one car into the wall hard.
Two cars.
Dustin Adam just shot completely straight right up into the outside wall. Hard hit, collecting.
They got Garrett Denton.
Trying to see who he collected there. looked like the Garrett Denton car was collected in that. Everybody else looks like they pretty much were able to get around it till late into the accident there. It looks like somebody got into the back of Denton. But really, really hard hit, though, by the 13 car. The Little Trees car is showing a lot of damage here. And, yeah, that was ugly. He's actually going to have to tow that car back to the pits, and he may be in trouble and be out of this race.
Yeah, Carl, it looked like Randy Garrard running behind that 13 car kind of just took a line that kind of led him to the top of that inside, and maybe Dustin thought he had a little more room than what he really did. Just a tiny touch sent the 13 into the wall, also collected the 99, and then we see Petey Zeller in the 0, which is Dustin's teammate, get just barely clipped the 99 when he was still on the apron and got a little damage. I don't know if there was a little net code there because it looked like Petey continued on.
I think Petey's got quite a bit of damage as well, from what I can see.
Yeah, I'm looking at his car now. Looks like the whole left front is all jacked up in the air.
Wow. It helps if you turn your microphone on when you're trying to talk. But, yeah, taking a look at the Petey Zeiler car here. He's got considerable damage. He looks like he's trying to turn this thing into a modified.
One thing I did notice in the heats, though, Carl, is with that aerodynamics being turned down so much by iRacing, it's doesn't seem to affect your car a whole lot like it used to. Like if you had a little bit of damage where some air could get in the cracks, it would slow you down a lot. But now, if you can get that nose fixed out, they should be okay.
Looks like Brock Colson's the only one that's going to keep his car out on the racetrack. Everybody else is going to come down pit road, take at least 2 tires. Jeremy Poole took 2 tires. Looks like Wetson's doing the same thing. Wetson's actually going to go for 4. Take a look, see what here. Kirk Mills is taking 4 tires. Looks like Travis Brown is also going to take 4 tires. The Brandon Cruz machine's taking 4 tires. Looks like just about everybody's going to take 4 tires. There's a couple cars that took 2, but it looks like most of the cars are going to be taking 4 tires. So these guys are actually starting to get uncomfortable with their cars already. They're putting 4 tires on it and only 10 laps into this race. I guess Carl, if you're gonna take fuel in these cars, it takes quite a while because they got to actually climb inside these things to put the fuel in. So if you're gonna put fuel in, you probably do have enough time to put 4 tires on them.
Yeah, they had the Norm Benning pit crew, the one guy who does everything.
Well, I do know that I do know that with these cars here, the fuel cell is actually located right behind the driver, and they actually have to climb in the passenger side window of these cars to fuel these cars up. They're not able to they don't have a fuel fill on the car. They actually have to climb in the passenger side window with a can and fill these cars up. So it takes a little bit longer to get inside that car, open it up, and get it filled.
I do want to give a shout out to our in-race reporter, Paul Coleman, who narrowly missed that wreck as it all happened and unfolded in front of him.
Hey, Paul, you got a copy?
I do. I'm currently getting yelled at by race control. How's it going out there? I had a car fly direct over me.
We were just going to ask you how exciting that must have been there to get a car to actually fly over top of your roof. What did you see there? What was caused that? Did you see anything?
I saw the 99 and the 13 get together with a huge hit in the wall, and I saw them get together, and I thought that they were going to actually stick it higher on the wall and not come down, so I went all the way down, and then as I was going down, I believe it was I can't remember if it was the 13 and 9, and one of them just flew directly over me, and I thought that was going to be my race, but luckily they flew over.
All right, well, we'll try to get back to you here during the race again. Getting ready to go back to green here. The caution lights are off on the top of the car, so they will be going green this time by.
Carl, I think we're going to see some challenges for the lead with some guys on new tires, and Brock's tires have just started wearing, so I think we're going to see a new leader.
Yeah, it looks like the 52 of Jeremy Poole is going to get a really good start there on the outside. He's going to get a fender up on Brock Colson. Brock Colson's able to drive it hard down on the inside, was able to take that position back. So, I don't know. Looks like Brock's still strong. He's only got 10 laps on the tires. I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but I guess it could be on the way these cars are handling. I know they're very tight going in, so you're eating the right outside tire up quite a bit. You're heating that tire up a lot. But under caution, it cools these tires down a little bit, so might not have been too bad of a call for Brock to stay out this time.
The restart, we had one car make it 3 wide. Travis Brown gained, I want to say, 3 to 4 positions on that start going into turn 1, 2, and off the backstretch. Now up to 4th.
We are back down pretty much a single file already here up in the front of the pack. We don't see any kind of really side-by-side racing until you get about the 10th, 11th position with Steve Wetton and Paul Coleman Jr. They're running side-by-side out here for 10th and 11th. As Paul takes the inside line here, he's trying to get around the 00 right now of PJ Zeiler.
Yeah, looks like PD got that car fixed, and he's still on the lead lap, so anything's possible.
Back up here towards the front, Ryan Borges is now down to the inside of Travis Brown, looking to get around Travis. Gets it a little bit loose here, gets down on that apron just a little bit there, gets the car wiggling a little bit, was able to get it back under control. But Ryan Borges trying to get the 32 car up there in front of the Travis Brown machine right now.
Challenge for the lead, a little contact, Carl, as the 52 gets into the 4, sends the 4 up high. Brock Holson looks like he's going to fall back to 4th, but he did not want to give up that lead, put a block on him. Looks like those new tires are paying off.
Yeah, just a little bit of a touch there to the inside quarter panel of the 4 does send him up the track. Didn't make any contact with the wall, but it did scrub off a lot of speed. I don't know if 4 is going to appreciate that too awful much. He may be thinking what he can do in the future to get a little payback there on Jeremy Poole before the end of this race.
Yeah, as fast as he is, I would not count that car out, getting back up there and challenging, but he has more problems than that. He's now falling back. Maybe he just got his tires a little heated up. As you can see, we got Garrett Denton now following him as they are in a pack of 4 behind the John Batista machine, and that's the battle for 5th place right now.
Yeah, kind of watching Brock Colson. Brock's pretty much keeping it up there on the outside line. There's a 74 car of Alex Krasper gets around him. The 23 car is now taking a look down to the inside of Stephen Wetton. He's looking like he's getting racing. He wants to get up here past Brock Colson, while Brock's kind of reeling from earlier events. Garrett Denton also takes it to the inside, so he just pretty much gets freight trained all the way back here to around the 7th or 8th position.
Yeah, it looked like Garrett Denton just added a little insult to injury to Brock Colson. Gave him a little slight door touch going into the last corner and sent Brock up a little bit, giving Garrett some room to move on.
Travis Brown had to make an extra pit stop here. I'm hearing he's having some electrical problems with his car out there, losing connection. That's definitely not something you want to be doing out here, because that gets kind of hairy, especially for other drivers that are around you. You disappear. Where are you going to come back? That's always the question that I always worry about. It looks like we have another try for the lead here. Is Kurt Mills is now back, or is up on the back bumper here of Jeremy Poole, and he's taking a look trying to get up into the lead. We also have the 32 car of Ryan Borges now taking a look to the inside of Kurt Mills, wanting to get a position and work his way up to try to get up into the lead.
Yeah, it looks like Kirk Mills is diving down to the inside. He has a little bit of a position, and that was Mark Arthur's dark horse, putting his nose in there, barely squeezes up, gets into the back of him, and it looks like they're going to be 3 wide coming off corner number 4, Carl. What are you seeing down there?
Holding my breath. That's what I'm doing right now. That was interesting. I like to see these guys get 3 wide. They're getting good and racy out here. That's a lot of fun watching that. That was a great pass there.
Yeah, all that battling has allowed Stephen Wetton to get a huge run down the inside. His car is hooked up right now, and looks like Jeremy Poole, who's now lost the lead, and now it's going backwards, try to give him a little block. And now they're 3 wide going down into turn 3.
Steve Wetton decides he's going to make it 3 wide. He's going to keep it down there. He's going to hold it down there on that bottom line. Beautiful job by Steve not letting that car slide up, and still looks like he's making forward progress. So really good run by Steve Wetton. He did have a really nice run. He's brought that car all the way up here to 3rd position now, right in behind Kurt Mills. Kurt Mills now looking to the outside and finds out that that's not the way to go, as he looks like he's going to get now freight trained by the Jeremy Poole car.
Yeah, Jeremy Poole tucks back on the inside. Now Stephen Wetton might be next in line to go around Kirk, but it's Ryan Borges who's in the lead now, and that was one of Paul Coleman's picks. So it's good to see a bunch of these faces up here. We're getting some lead changes, some faces we don't always see in XCAL events, and that's what the plate was kind of designed to do. You know, if drivers are having fun racing it, it still allows drivers to have control in their hands, but also, you know, puts everybody on an even playing field.
Taking a look here at Brandon Cruz Monster Devices, he's running around back here in the 12th position. I was talking with him earlier in the week, and he said that he likes to run his car in the back of the field for a while there and let everybody kind of sort things out. And he said he's going to be looking to come forward towards the middle of the end of this race. So it'd be interesting to see Brandon as he tries to run his way back up through the field there. I don't know if I'd want to get myself all the way back in the 12th position, though. That's kind of a dangerous place to be in the back of the pack in this kind of a race, in my opinion. You take a chance on seeing exactly what the 00 PDJ Seiler did. The back end of some of these cars, they're spinning out in front of you. As the 23 car now takes a look to the inside of the 32 of Ryan Borges, looks like Wenton's wanting to get the lead as the 31 comes to the outside of the Kurt Mills machine to go to the lead, and being chased hard now by the 23 of Steve Wetton, holding it hard to the inside, wanting that lead, but I don't know if he wants it as much as Kurt Mills, because Kurt Mills is really running hard out here on the outside line.
Yeah, all of this, Carl, has created a huge pack of 8 cars now, bringing back into the conversation Brock Colson, Garrett Denton, who was just in that accident, and looks like his crew worked pretty hard on that car to get it back running. And then we have Alex Krapser, who is now joined in the mix. And Carl, we're getting reports that that the 32 car of Ryan Borges is now being warned that he put his car below the white line, and that's a rule that XCAL has instated here for this race, where a driver cannot put more than half of their car below that white line, because it actually allows and helps the car hook around the corner, giving them an unfair advantage, especially on used tires.
Yeah, I was just kind of listening to them. That's why I kind of quieted down there for a second there. I was listening to what they were saying there. Yeah, he got one warning. That's all you get is one warning, and then you get the black flag next time. And right now we're watching the 5th position car of the number 4 Brock Colson as he's made his way back up here. Contact between him and the 39 car there of that would be the 52 car there of Jeremy Poole. Actually got a little bit of contact, which got Brock really wiggling, and the 52 car is going to be diving his way back down to the inside. He wants that position back. Back up here to the front of the pack, we got the 32 car of Ryan Borges. He's sitting down there on the outside, or the inside, excuse me, looking the inside of Kurt Mills, wanting to see if he can get back up here. He wants that lead back. Steve Wetton still has not had a taste of the lead. He's out here on the outside looking, and he's wanting to try to get up here and get the lead. Kurt Mills is really making that car wide as he's able to hold those 2 guys right behind him.
Carl, with all this action in the front group, can you blame Brandon Cruz for wanting to stay back there?
I don't know. I want to be up here where it's fun.
Well, I know, but you know, as somebody who runs XCAL, and Mark is actually my teammate, when we've previously come to Charlotte and ran the plate setup before this new setup because of a new iRacing build, that was kind of our strategy, is to hang around back on the long races, let the cars, you know, whoever's gonna take themselves out, you know, let the big one happen, and then with, you know, 100 to go, 50 to go, you know, playing our strategy to be up front, first ones to make our last pit stops, and then cruise to victory.
Well, speaking of cruising, it looks like Brock Colson's got his car cruising. He is now looking to get himself back up here to the front on older tires, nonetheless, but he is looking now to get back up here into the front of the field as he's getting up beside the number 32 of Ryan Borges. Looks like he's going to want to come up here and he's going to want to fight for this lead. He's looking at 2nd position now after falling back to around the 8th or 9th position. Back around the lap 12, he is back up here, coming up to the front now in 2nd position, and looking to see if he can make it one more position, if he can get around Kurt Mills.
Stephen Wetton just got frisked over in corner number 3 by Ryan Borges. Kind of pushed him out of the way. Wetton was taking a peek to go 3 wide there, and kind of had to back out and lost his momentum, and now he's stuck battling for 4th with Batista and then Garrett Denton shortly behind him.
Yeah, it looks like Wetton might be taking the ride to the back of the pack here, as he is now looking like he's got his car to the point where it's not handling quite as well as it was And as I say that, he's trying to make a charge here on Batista, coming back out. But I don't know. That car doesn't look quite as strong as what it did earlier. He looks like he's lost a little bit of forward momentum there. He's slowing down just a little bit because he's not able to hang up here with the front three cars right now.
Yeah, I think Mark Arthur can speak to this. When you get a little racy on the new tires, like I did in our heats last week, you kind of use up all the good, and then your tires it take a while to wear back in, where you're actually even out with the people who actually save their stuff. And in our practices, Mark Arthur has been one of the top people, one of the top drivers who have worked on saving their stuff, so the newness keeps longer and they can run faster laps. So maybe Mark can speak to how he saves his tires a little bit more and is able to run back up to the front when everybody else has run out.
Well, apparently that's what Brock Colson did, because Brock Colson's now brought the number 4 car back up here to the front. Man, he's sitting out here in the first position, convincingly 0.2 of a second. And he was just running not too many laps ago, back around the 7th, 8th position. So we're almost halfway through this race, and Brock Colson looking like he's going to want to get back up here and win this.
Yeah, all last week he was the class of the field. He in that first heat, he was our winner. He pulled away. He was really the only driver who could manage to kind of pull away from the field. So we haven't really been seeing that, and maybe he has a little bit of magic that he's found out, and he's not sharing with anybody.
Right now we're watching the Kurt Mills car, as he looks like he might have lost a little bit of the handle of his car. The rear end of his car is getting a little bit wiggly right around the center of the turns. It's not holding nice like it was when he was out here in the lead. I don't know if maybe the bad air made the car not handle quite as well, but he's even through the tri-over here, he's got that car wiggling just a little bit. But Kurt Mills falling back to second position and also falling back from the leader. The leader has now pulled out a 0.6 of a second lead.
Yeah, everybody might be saying goodnight if this one goes green, and they're left on the tires that they have, because I think Brock will just set sail and the battle will be for second.
So now if Brock Colson wins this race, he will be one of the cars that will be one of the 2 cars that will be eligible for the pole. Is that how you said this is going to work?
That is correct. Yep, and then we'll compare their fastest lap time of the race. So Brock's fastest of this race, tomorrow night's winner of that race, and then whoever has the fastest will get the pole. The other guy will get the outside. It's a little bit different than the NASCAR twin races for Daytona, where they actually set their outside and pole during qualifying, and then the rest of the races are to figure out the qualifying order for the rest of 3rd through 43rd. It's a little bit different, but kind of the same idea.
Keeping an eye here on the 23 car here of Stephen Wetton. He's making his way back up here now. He's got it back up to 3rd position. He got around Ryan Borges. Ryan Borges is now being freight trained like happened with Colson earlier. We're seeing Garrett Denton now in the 99 car. He's up beside him, wanting to get around him. Right behind him is going to be John Batista. Batista's going to be wanting to take a position. I seen Borges try to stick it down there on the bottom. Wasn't able to do it. It just pushed right back up out of the line of cars there. He wasn't able to hold it in line with these guys. So apparently Ryan really run that tire off of his car, and he's not able to hold that car down like he was able to earlier, and he's losing positions. Now he's finally gotten passed by the 99 of Garrett Denton. Garrett Denton was able to get by him, and now he's going to be falling back into the clutches of the 39 of John Batista.
Yeah, things have kind of quieted down just a little bit for at least the first 3 positions as the tires start to wear in and drivers are left trying to figure out just where and when to back off to keep their times up and try to match Brock Olson, who's kind of pulling away. He just gained 0.2 that lap over Kirk Mills in second.
Yeah, he's been consistently 2 to 3 tenths faster than each car. I've been watching those lap times for the last 10 laps. He's been 2 to 3 tenths quicker every single lap.
Right now, Brock Colston, he's still running halfway decent laps here. 37.978 was his last lap, and he is actually able to pull his number 4 car out to a 1.31 second lead. So Brock Colson definitely has these tires after they've gotten wear on him. He's gotten this figured out how to handle this car, because he's still running nice and smooth. Trying to look at take a look at his steering wheel here, and he's just holding a real pretty wheel there down at the bottom of the racetrack as he's getting around the 33 car of Travis Brown to put Travis down for a second lap now. Travis looks like he's got his connection problem figured out here. He hasn't been blinking. I did go back and look at him earlier, and he's been pretty much solid here since the drop of the green, and he had that issue earlier. Right now we're taking a look back here, I guess, at the 23 car of Wetton as he's taking a look to the inside of Mills now, wanting to see if he can go for the second position.
Yes, Steven does take a look on the inside of Kirk Mills down the backstretch. Not sure if that no, it doesn't appear that they must have already passed Travis Brown. I was worried a little bit that they might come up on Travis Brown, and that might play a hand in that battle. But Ryan Borges is pulling right in the back of Stephen Winton down the front chute. Oh, they almost get together a little bit. Borges looks to the inside, almost making it 3 wide, but fell back in line, thought better of it. Looks like Wetton now will pull to the inside. Borges follows him around Kirk Mills. Kirk Mills back to 4th. Jeremy Poole in 5th. Garrett Denton falls in 6th. John Batista 7th. Alex Crapster 8th. That's kind of the main group of guys behind Brock Colson. And then it is about a second and a half back to another group that consists of Paul Coleman Jr., our in-race reporter, PDJ Zeller, who was involved in that accident, the first and only caution, and Brandon Cruz running that high-octane new paint scheme of his new sponsor. Brock Colson clips another lap down. Looks like we are just past halfway. Another 40 to go, 40 down. Stephen Wenton's still leading that second pack. Kind of doing a little bit of blocking Ryan Borges in 3rd, and Kirk Mills is now losing another spot. Looks like maybe he's worn the good off his tires a little bit, just trying to stay up there, and now he may be a sitting duck, just trying to stay in line, maybe catch another caution, and maybe get some new tires on that thing.
And at the halfway point, Brock Colston takes the halfway award. Brock Colson takes the Upstate Coin Award here for the halfway money in the race today. So go to upstatecoin.com for more information on them.
Yeah, Carl, that is upstatecoin.com, Upstate Coin and Bullion. And you can also call them if anybody's interested and doesn't have the internet, which I don't know how you'd be watching this broadcast. But if anybody wanted to call them, it would be 864-848-5068. That's 864-848-5068. And they buy, sell, and trade all coin and bullion, gold, silver, anything you can think of. Maybe that old Middle Ages chainmail you have in your closet, Carl.
Well, now that we are past the halfway point here, everything seems to calm down. These guys are getting them back down into into single line, single file. Wow. I think it's time we go to a commercial here. And we'll be back after these words from our sponsors.
A race car has a soul, and the Audi 90 Quattro had a very special soul. When we came to the States with this car, nobody could believe what we can achieve with this car. Small engine, 5-cylinder. It's a German saloon car. We knew that we can only win the race by using all the car has.
The green flag is out. And here we go.
The 5-cylinder engine was it was a jewel. It was lighter and it was more compact. You put your foot on the throttle and you could use the power instantly.
And we're back here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the TMB Ventures 120, the first race of two, to determine the inside and outside row. And also, after tomorrow's race, we'll be determining the pole sitter. And right now, it looks like Brock Colson's stinking up the show here with a 4-second lead. I think Ryan Borges is saying, hey, I see some debris on the track here, wanting to get a caution so he can get in and get some new tires and get caught back up with Colson. Because right now, Colson is running away with this. They go 3 wide. The 52 car dives it hard. Jeremy Poole looking to get into second position the easy way, or should I say the hard way or the dangerous way?
Well, it was almost dangerous as the 32 and 52 kind of got stuck together coming through the tri-oval, and then Stephen Wetton almost ran the back of the 32. So going into turn number 1, they kind of try to get single filed out and prevent any becoming the caution, I guess, is from what they were looking for.
Stephen Wetton looking here on the outside, and he is going to actually pinch off Curtin Mills. Curtin Mills was almost up there to his quarter panel there, had to slam on the brakes hard to keep from getting into Steve Wetton. Wetton dived down into the inside line there because he was looking to try to get around Borges. I don't think he knew that Mills was down there. I don't think he would have done that, because I don't think that's something he would have done on purpose. But close call there for a second. Had to hold my breath. Thought we were going to see our second caution.
And being a driver in XCAL, I know if I was Mills, I might put that one on my mental checklist for later on in the race, or maybe even later on this week, and think, okay, Steven may have cut me off that time. I will remember that, and maybe I won't let him in line when he needed to, or something like that. We as you know, Carl, you're a driver, and all the drivers out there watching, we remember those kinds of things.
Oh yeah, drivers. That's one thing drivers never forget. Yep. And right now I'm looking back here at the number 9th position of 54 of Brandon Cruz. He has decided enough is enough. He's fallen far enough behind. He needs to start catching back up with this lead pack here before he completely loses touch with him and is not able to make his late race run. Riding along here with Brock Colson. Sounds like he's trying to save some fuel there as he's shutting his engine off as he's going through these turns.
Well, Carl, like I said at the top of the show, we did some tests, and we were looking at 78 laps if you were running all alone by yourself. And Brock is running all alone by himself. So I don't know if this is planned, or maybe he just kind of did the calculations, or if he has a spotter. But maybe he realized that he definitely needs to start saving fuel. And it looks like these guys in second, third, as they go 3 wide for 4th place, they're starting to smell it, as Colson's 4+ second lead is now down to a measly 1.5. So he definitely is shutting his car off and saving fuel. And will it be enough?
We got a bit of a hornet's nest here going. That they've actually calmed it down a little bit here over the back straightaway. These guys were actually running 3 wide there for about a good lap and a half. They finally calmed down and decided better of that. That's not the way to do this here. You don't want to be 3 wide too off long because somebody would be going for a ride. Like I said, they've calmed down. They got it back down to 2 wide, looking at the 99 now, taking a look to the inside of the 23 of Steve Wetton. Steve Wetton is sitting up here on the high side. It looks like the 99 car's got a little bit of damage here to the front nose of his car, but nothing really severe. He's able to continue without too many problems. I don't think he's looking like he's handling pretty well. Watching his steering wheel as he's also holding a nice steady wheel in the turns. Brandon Cruz Monsivice actually is closing now on this front pack a little bit. He was up to a 7-second deficit on John Batista. He has closed it down to a 4-second deficit now.
What's that, Paul? Yeah, I think what Race Control was doing, they were giving it. Mark, was it the 31? Yeah, 31. Kirk Mills getting a warning for going below the white line.
So once again, they got everything calmed down here. They got it down single file. Nobody's really stepping out of line right now to make any passes here. I guess they're wanting to see if they can. They've seen that time start to close in there, I guess, on Colson, and they thought they don't know what's going on. We can tell you what's going on because we can hear Colson shut the car off. These guys don't know that, so they're thinking, well, maybe he's having some issues and we'll be able to get back up here and get around him. I think once Colson sees them get to the point where they're going to be close enough to pass, I think you're going to see him pulling back away here because saving fuel, saving his tires. He's not really running all that hard out here in the front because he don't have to. He's not running around anybody. He'd probably be able to pull his car away again quickly if need be, I'd say.
Yeah, it definitely looks like the closing rate on that second pack to Brock is kind of steadying out. So maybe he's not backing off as much. Maybe he's just getting off the throttle a little more, kind of run the same lap times as that 32 Ryan Borges in second. Just still trying to save a little more fuel. And it doesn't look like his strategy is going to be able to pit, if at all, even if a caution comes out.
Seeing a lot of guys.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, seeing a lot of guys flirt with that white line in the corners. I think you're going to start seeing some black flags if we keep that up.
Yeah, I've heard them now. They've warned a couple drivers about that white line there. Once again, you take that car down below that white line more than half your car. They do not like it. They will not allow it, and they will black flag you for it. Okay, looks like we have a car spinning out of control, hard into the outside wall. Looks like Jeremy Poole just lost the front of that car. He hit the outside wall hard. Trying to see exactly what happened here with the 23 car. It looks like they might have made some contact there. No, 52 car is destroyed. The front of his car is gone. Looks like Brandon Cruz got his car upside down, and he's going to be able to drive away. He's not going to have to tow it, but a lot of damage to Monsivice's car. But riding along here with Brian Colson, he's got his car shut off again. Well, started back up. So he's definitely in fuel conservation mode here. So you got to figure he might not decide to pit at all this race. No,
Nope.
That's a shame to see that. Brandon was really hopeful out there with his new sponsorship on his car that he'd be able to make a good showing tonight. And he wasn't doing too awful bad. He was staying out there, staying out of trouble, and the car really looked good. He looked like he was getting a little bit faster. He was catching the lead pack there, but like I said before, I wouldn't want to run in the back just for that reason right there. That kind of worries me.
Pits opened and the top 6 all stayed out, which was a huge surprise to me. First taker was John Batista, who was one of the ones in that incident, the one who took off the front of Jeremy Poole's car, and then we had a few strayers back there. Petey Zeller and I think Rod Weston also came in.
All right, looks like the top of the field here is going to be Brock Colson in the first position. We got Ryan Borges, Steve Wenton, Garrett Denton, and Kurt Mills are going to be rounding out the top 5. Alex Krasper, John Batista, PDJ Zeiler, and Paul Coleman, and then Rod Weston is going to be rounding out the top 10. Looks like the 54 car is also going to get an EOL for hitting the pylon, is from what I understand. For piling in. I thought I heard him say hit the pylon. I didn't know they had a black flag for that, but you never know. Well, Paul's back out here on the racetrack. Let's see if we can get down there. Hey, Paul, you got a copy?
Yeah, hey, Carl, what's going on?
Hey, how's the car feeling out there, buddy?
We're gonna get up to speed here. Somehow I got an EOL for piling, evidently, even though the 54 kind of slammed right in front of me and I had no control over that. But nonetheless, anyways, yeah, I saw that wreck happen as well, and then I thought Brandon was going to miss it because he was being a little conservative, and Brandon hit the car, and then all of a sudden Brandon ended up right in front of me, and there was no real way I can go or anywhere I could go or anything I could do.
Well,
but luckily we have no damage.
For you?
It's pretty good here. I'm kind of running just a little bit. It feels like it did beforehand. I got some fresh tires, and things are going well.
All right, Paul. Well, thank you again, buddy. The lights are off on the top of the pace car. We're going to be getting ready to go green here. Brock Colson, once again, is going to have control of the field here. Once again, they are not going to be going when they want to. They do have to go on green. That is one of the rules for today's, for this whole entire week that they've been here at Charlotte. They can only go on green. They cannot go like they used to, where it was in the hands of the leader. So why is that? What made them decide to go on green? What was the deciding factor on that?
Well, Carl, with this plate setup, it takes a while for these cars to kind of get all wound up, probably 1 or 2 laps. So in our tests, when you went on leader, the leader was able to jump out to like a second lead before any cars could actually get single file and start to catch them. So it was just to kind of stack up the pack, make it a little more unpredictable, even though it kind of is predictable, and stack them up to get this terrific restart. So here we are. We got Ryan Borges on the outside trying to hang with Brock Colson, who was being pushed by Stephen Wenton.
And I saw that wiggle that time as they were coming out of turn 1 there. Bunch of cars were doing that dance back and forth. They were all able to make it through, no problems whatsoever. But like you're saying, now we do have the 32 car here of Ryan Borges, who is staying out on the outside, just kind of hit the wall there a little bit. I don't think he did too awful much damage to it, but he did touch the wall there going into the turn. I don't think there's anything. I'm trying to see. I don't see any damage on the car at all, but Steve Wenton is able to pull the car up here into second position now. Ryan Borges is going to fall into third. We have Garrett Denton and Alex Krasper. They are sitting back here in the 4th and 5th position. Kurt Mills, he's taking a look to the inside now of Alex Krasper. He's wanting to get back up here in the front. He was having fun up there. Now he wants to get back up here and have a little bit more fun.
Yeah, we had a challenge to the lead. Stephen Wenton went on the outside of Brock Colson, And I want to say, yeah, it was Ryan Borges who looked to the inside, possibly make a 3 wide. Brock Colson slammed the door on him and caused the 32 to get a little loose. Oh, now we got another 3 wide battle down the backstretch. Garrett Denton sticks a nose under Brock Colson, makes it 3 wide. Below the white line, going into the corner, shoves Brock out of the way. Now Brock is going backwards, another 3 wide battle. He went from first to sixth in a quarter of a lap, and Steven went into the lead.
Can you say door banging there, man? Holy cow, were they hitting? That was a lot of fun there. I don't think that the number 4 of Brock Colson thought it was a lot of fun, but I know Garrett Denton was having a blast there as he got it down to the inside and just bounced it maybe about 2 or 3 times off of him and pushed him up the racetrack, made him lose his momentum, and that might be the only way you're going to be able to handle a car like Colson. But I'm sure Colson's going to get the tires back underneath him, and he's going to be coming back up to the front. And like we said earlier, these guys will remember that kind of move. So when he gets back up there to the 99 of Denton, he may decide to repay that favor here in the next few laps. We'll have to see about that one.
Well, unfortunately for Brock, he's now fallen into the hands of the cars that have the fresh rubber. So, and this was what I was going to say, one of the things to watch on this restart was the top 6 didn't have fresh tires, and the back half of the other 6 did. And I was interested to see how that was going to play out. And it looked like at the start, all the cars with the worn rubber, maybe because it was already worked in, they pulled away from that other half. But now Brock has fallen back, and it's going to take a lot of tires, and he's going to heating up that right front to try to get back up there. And there's only 11 laps to go, Carl.
11 laps to go, and he's now taking a look back down the inside of Randy Gerard. He looks like he's going to pass him pretty much with ease there. But I guess Randy's going to fight back here to the outside. They know they got to keep this guy down. They let him back out here in the front. They're going to be having the same issue. May only be 11 laps to go, but I tell you what, Brock Colson, being a man on a mission, he could decide to get that car back up there in the front any way he possibly can and show these guys that he didn't appreciate being shoved pretty much to the back. He wasn't just passed. He was door slammed to the back. So I know I'd be running mad.
Yeah, that move by Garrett was a move that took guts, and he ultimately got the glory out of it. But I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a knock on his door or maybe a helmet thrown by Brock Colson after this race.
Kurt Mills now taking a look down to the inside of Alex Krasper as Kurt Mills is wanting to get up here to the 4th position. Like we said before, this race does determine the inside row. So these guys are now down to the last 10 laps of this race. They're going to be wanting to pick up whatever positions now that they can possibly get. Every position is a position in the starting order for this Thursday's 450-mile race here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So I'd say action's about to pick up, boys. Ryan Borges now takes a look down to the inside of Denton. Leaves the door open there. No, I thought maybe the Kurt Mills car was going to try to take it down to the inside there. Krapser just about gets it around there. A lot of smoke off the rear in that car as he gets it sideways as he touches that apron. That's another reason you don't want to go down to the apron. It really can loosen your car up to the point where you can't control it. And just exactly what happened to Krasper there. He is headed backwards because of that little miscue right there. Taking a look back up here to the front, Steve Wetton is able to pull out a 0.4 of a second lead. Ryan Borges sitting here in second. Garrett Denton drops back to third. Kurt Mills is up to 4th. Brock Colson has made it back up here to 5th position. Alex Krasper's dropped all the way back to 6th position after getting on the apron and getting that car really loose. Randy Gerard is in 7th. Rod Weston is in 8th. We have Paul Coleman Jr. sitting back here in the 9th position. Brandon Cruz Monsivice is sitting back here now in the 10th position, so he was able to make up a couple positions after that black flag.
We are now inside 8 laps to go, so that means there will be no more waiver rounds if another caution comes out. And of course, all of our fans who have joined us in the past, or maybe if there's anybody new out there watching, within with under 5 to go, if there is a caution, XCAL keeps the green, keeps the track green. We continue on. If there's another, or if we're inside the top 5 and then there's a caution, we stay green and we battle to the end. If there's a caution before 5 to go, we have something we call a quickie caution, which guarantees that we get a 2-lap shootout or more. And on that 2-lap shootout, we will start the green at the start-finish line. So now they come around to 7 laps to go. You know, the field is starting to get spaced out. I'm not sure we'll see a caution, but Brock Holson is coming in a hurry. He's up to 4th. He is now 1.2 seconds off the lead. Not sure if he has enough time to get all the way up to Stephen Wetton, but Garrett Denton is the next car in front of him. So that's going to be interesting if he can draft up, catch up to him, and see what he does.
And we'll say he's in his crosshairs because you know that Brock Colson is seeing that 99 car and wanting to do everything he can to get up there and at least knock on the back door and let him know that he did not appreciate that door slam. So right now, Brock Colson is driving the tires off of this car as he is trying to make his way back up here to catch the 99 of Garrett Denton.
Carl, I think we could say he's seeing red.
Absolutely seeing red right now. 5 laps to go. Within 5 laps to go here, we're going to find out the winner of this. It's still a tight battle up here between Steve Wenton and Ryan Borges, so it's going to be fun to watch this one. Garrett Denton looks like he is going to want to try to get his nose back up in here and see if he can make some noise. Brock Colson closing in quickly on the back of the 99 car, so this is going to be an exciting end.
Yeah, 4 laps to go, and if we see Stephen Wenton and Ryan Borges kind of get a little racy, as they kind of are, Ryan Borges is trying to find a way around him. You know, Wenton's kind of putting the block on him, and, you know, any little touch could send one of these cars around, but if they get side by side, that Garrett Denton machine and Brock Colson, they're going to be right there. And, I mean, as they are right now, you can see with all the blocking going on, they're scrubbing speed a little bit. And it's going to bring those front 4 all in a gaggle. And then we also have the 2 stragglers running 5th and 6th, Kirk Mills and Alex Crapster with 3 laps to go.
Don't count out that number 99 car, though. He is now down to the inside of Borges. He is wanting to take that position. Is he going to be able to do it? No. Borges gets into the outside wall coming off of turn number 2 there. Looks like the 99 and Brock Colson and number 4 are going to work together here a little bit and see if they can get up and around these guys. They are not. The front 2 cars slam that door to the inside there. Do not let these guys up around. And getting exciting here. Last couple of laps to go. White flag is in the air.
Carl, is that what you call it? Working together. I think Garrett Denton put a block on Colson, but it looks like Garrett Denton now down to the inside is being black flagged for going below the white, I believe, to get the white line.
I don't think it would have made too much of a difference because exactly what I thought that Colson was going to do, he did. He got up there and into the back of the number 99 car, got Garrett Denton really, really loose. So I don't think he had too much of a choice but to go back, black flag or no. But now we have the white flag in the air. The last lap, Steve Wenton out in the lead. Ryan Borges close in second. Brock Colson has closed all the way up to 3rd position, and right on the back bumper of Ryan Borges is going to be an exciting finish, ladies and gentlemen.
We have a freight train coming down the backstretch. Stephen Wenton in the lead. Ryan Borges takes a peek on the outside. That gives the inside advantage to Brock Colson. Stephen Wenton picks the inside line to try to block Brock as they come down. Ryan Borges, a high line run all the way to the finish. And there's contact. At the line. I'm not sure who won, Carl.
Looks like Brock Colson's going to pull out the win. Steve Wenton's going to be second. Ryan Borges is third. But what a finish there toward the end of that race there. It looks like the blocking didn't work there for the 23 car. He did get turned right before the start-finish line, which was actually a plus, I guess, for the 4 car because he was able to get up here and take his win that he pretty much deserved. He had it all. He's had this race in hand all day long.
You know, I want to say that Wenton had it all the way. He didn't need to block. He had it. He could have pulled him. Ryan Borges, you know, he wasn't going to catch up that much. He was still maybe 3/4 of a car away. And I don't know what happened there. It kind of looked like they kind of got stuck together. Maybe Borges came down a little bit. They're kind of wobbling a little coming through that tri-oval.
I don't know what that extracurricular stuff was after the race there, but now we are seeing the Steve Wetton cars laying upside down on the racetrack. Well, he has now been towed.
Yeah, he spun out after the race and just got obliterated by the 00 car from PD Zeller coming across the line. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, that was quite a shot he took there. He did get it upside down.
Wow, what a race! What a race for our first kind of big one running this setup.
And ladies and gentlemen, it's over. Brock Colson is our winner. Steve Wetton is number 2 position. Ryan Borges finished in 3rd. Kurt Mills is in the 4th position. Alec Krasper is in 5th position. The number 6 position goes to Randy Gerard. Rod Weston finishes 7th position. And then in the number 7, Paul Coleman Jr. in number 66 brings it home in 8th position. Petey Zeiler brings it home in the 9th position. John Batista is in the 10th position in the 39 car. Brandon Cruz Monsivice finishes 11th position in the 54 car. Chuck Smith in the 08 finishes in 12th. Then we have Garrett Denton finishing 13th. Last car on the lead lap in the number 99. We had Jeremy Poole, Travis Brown, and Dustin Adams rounding out the field. We will be back with the winner after these messages. And we are back to Charlotte Motor Speedway here. A little bit of controversy here on this finish. We do not know right now who the winner was of this race. The transponder says that the 4 car of Brock Colson won, but right now, third position we do know is the 32 of Ryan Borges, and right now we have Ryan Borges standing here right now with Paul Coleman.
Ryan, wow, 80 laps. That's only what, a third of what we're going to run, or actually a little less than a third of what we're going to run Thursday night. It seemed like a very long race. Talk about your race, and then talk about hitting the wall there at the very end.
First off, I want to apologize to Steven for kind of hooking him on across the line and maybe costing him the win. I don't know what the outcome's going to be yet. I meant to just give him a little tap, try to get myself the win, and go for it there. But obviously, I hit him a little too hard and hooked him in the wall. But the race went well for me. I wasn't expecting coming in. I didn't get a lot of practice with this new plate setup after the new build, so I wasn't expecting that much. But I felt like I was really able to wheel the car around there and make some passes around just about everyone to get to the front of the pack. But Brock had something else there. I don't know how he pulled the field by about 5 seconds, but he really figured out some with the setup in the line there. But towards the end, we got that caution with about 15 to go, and that really evened out the field, gave us all a shot at getting Brock. And sure enough, I think Steven, Kirk, and then who else? Garrett and I were able to get around him. But after that, it looked like Brock was out of the picture, and it was a really good battle between me and Steven in the last few laps. Steven was doing exactly what he had to do to keep me behind. I was trying to cross him over because the outside line, I mean, I just couldn't get around him up there. He'd just pull me out of every turn. So I was trying whatever I could do to get under him, and he was holding his perfect line. And finally, on the last lap, I just gave it one more shot, hit him a couple extra times, and went for it. But Brock caught right back up, was right on our bumpers, and it looked like he may have gotten the win after I accidentally hooked Steven in the wall. But overall, it was a good race for the number 32, and even I think I'm going to be starting in the back in the feature, so none of this really mattered. It was all just practice. But I'm starting in the back for not attending the heats because I was on vacation. But it was overall a good race, and hopefully.
I saw that you were able to come from the back here in the beginning. I mean, granted, we had half the field, but how was that coming up through the back? And before you answer that, let you in on a little secret. Viewers don't know this, nobody knows this yet, but you did not cost Stephen Wetton the win. It has been reviewed, and Stephen Wetton did win. So you did not cost Stephen Wetton the win. So feel a little better about yourself there.
Okay. Coming through the back of the field, I don't mean to ramble on with all this talking, but coming through the back of the field, I felt like it was a challenge. Like, it was really hard getting around people. It felt like you really wanted to get to the bottom to pass people, but the outside would pull down the straightaways, but you really had to cross them over and get under them. And it took me a good bit of time to get up to the top 4 or 5 and start actually battling for the lead. But it really seemed in that pack that you couldn't pull away. But Brock was able to find something out with his line and the throttle and the using the apron a little bit, because we were allowed to use the apron up until the center of our car, and a bunch of us got warned for it. And I was pushing the limit of that, obviously, and he must have figured something out with that and was really able to pull us all. But it was really tough hanging in the front of that pack and holding your line perfectly, making sure no one passed you. And that's what makes this really exciting, this setup. And hopefully that'll translate over the race.
Okay, one last question for you here before we let you go. Since you didn't get a lot of practice time, what did you actually learn going in for Thursday's race by this heat tonight?
Well, I guess I learned a lot of how the car handles. It really wants to push up the track. It's not meant for speed at all. It's meant for competitive racing, and it's really going to put on a good show for the fans. But you really got to feather the throttle, get your throttle points down, and your corner apex and entry and exit down. And also, if you can learn how to use that apron, that's actually going to help you turn a little bit without pushing the limits and getting half your car below it. So I got some good practice with all of that, and hopefully it'll translate to a good finish in the feature to end the season.
Sounds good. Look forward to racing with you Thursday. I think we're going to send it back up to Carl, who's got more on the quote unquote controversial finish here.
Yeah, these guys are doing a great job out here. These cars do have transponders on them, but they do also have a very, very nice overhead shot, and we are able to see the actual winner of this race was the 23 car. You can see his nose is across that line. You can still see that the 4 car still has about a half-inch to go, so that's how close this race was. The 23 car was able to pull it out, and I do believe we do have Aaron Keith down here now with Brock Holson.
Hey, Brock Holson, Aaron Keith here. You had a great run, and I know it was a you got a little bit behind. You were battling there for the finish, and it looked like you may have squeaked it out. iRacing was reporting you the winner. Unfortunately, there was a few guys taking photographs at the finish line, and it looks like Stephen Wenton was able to just inch you out, like literally inch you out. How are you feeling about that, and how was your run?
The run was good. The thing that the Ryan Borges was saying about how I pulled away, Syandra, before the twin race, he told me that fuel burn off is huge, and if you stay out and the fuel starts to burn off, you'll get a lot faster. So I didn't pit, and that's the reason I was able to pull away. And the run was good, and the way I'm feeling about that finish is I'm disappointed I couldn't get the win, but all I gotta say is that was really fun racing with those guys, and I'm sure it looked really good on the broadcast.
Brock, as you know, iRacing changed the build of the tires and left XCAL scrambling to try to create a setup last minute last week. What are your thoughts on the previous setup and how this one compares to that one, and which one do you like better?
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm actually kind of leaning towards this one because it seemed like we were running when I was back behind all those guys late in the race. We were running really close, running too wide, and we weren't wrecking. We were coming close, but we weren't wrecking, and it seemed this setup seems a lot more fun to drive around in a big pack, and I'm pretty sure I like this one a little better.
And you were able to get the lead, pull away. Some guys behind you got tires on the early caution. They kind of came up. Jeremy Poole was one of them. He came up past you. You kind of got a little, your car kind of got a little upset. Maybe you started burning up that right rear. You got your composure back. You ran up there, took back the lead. And like Borges was saying, you were up there for 4 seconds, and it looked like you were shutting off the car. Was that to save fuel?
Yes, that was to save fuel. I had Syandra, he was doing the calculations, and he told me I was right on the dot if I kept going, and I was like, okay, I have a 4-second lead. I can start shutting off the car and saving fuel. So yeah, that's what I was doing.
And then later on in the race, you kind of also got shuffled back again. It was on one of the last restarts, I believe, and you and Garrett Denton kind of got together. Denton kind of forced the issue, made it 3 wide, shoved you up the track. Any hard feelings on that, or what was going through your mind when that happened?
When it first happened, I wasn't very happy about it, but no, there's not going to be any hard feelings between us.
Very good, Brock. Well, you've been probably the strength of the field all speed weeks long, this week and last week included. We hope to see you run up front and get a good finish on Thursday. Any last minute words or thoughts on the setup or your run, or anybody you'd like to thank? Your crew, your sponsors?
Well, I'd like to thank all the guys who do the broadcast, all you guys, all the admins, and I'd like to congratulate Get Out the Way Motorsports with a 1-2 finish in this twin race.
Very good, Brock. Good luck the rest of the week, and we'll be talking to you hopefully on Thursday.
10-4. Thanks, Keith.
All right. That was Brock Holson, everybody. And now I have hurried up and jogged over, a little bit out of breath, and am catching up with Stephen Wenton in Victory Lane. They actually pulled Brock Holson's car into Victory Lane and had to kind of put in neutral and shove it out of the way. And Stephen Wenton kind of gave him a little bumper rub, and Stephen Wenton's crew kind of took over, and Brock Holson's crew is kind of walking away now. So Stephen Wenton, what the hell happened on that last corner of the last lap? What were your thoughts, and what were you trying to do? It looked like maybe you were trying trying to block Ryan Borges, and then you guys got together in the wall, and it was too close to call. But what are your thoughts?
First off, I just want to tell Borges, hey, everything's all good. No hard feelings. It's racing. Now I was just trying to make my bumper as wide as possible. Learn from the best, Mark Arthur. Been running with him all last week and right behind him, and learned what I had to do and everything else. But I was just trying to keep Borges behind me and not let him get that run on the straightaway. But then Brock came out of nowhere and caught up with us. So I was trying to make sure Borges didn't get me in the inside, and then make sure he didn't get a run outside. And I was worried about Brock coming in behind.
Now, on that last dogleg coming to the finish, did you feel like you moved up in the Borges, or Borges came down on you to kind of lock those cars together?
I don't think. Well, I think we just both moved just a little bit. I was trying to make it wide, but not too wide. But I think we both just a little bit came together, if anything.
And after you guys got together and you eventually went into the wall across the finish line, what were your thoughts? Did you think you won? Did you think Brock pulled it off after you saw iRacing's calculations? And then you were upside down and PD Zeller kind of gave you the boot. But I hope you're okay from that. But what were your thoughts after you crossed the line?
No, I was just looking out my window and I see Brock right there. I was worried that he might have got me. I thought I ended up coming second because that's what the scoring said. And I was just surprised when they actually then came over and announced it.
Well, this was the finish we've all been waiting for. And I know the co-owners and the senior admins have all been praying for. Mark Arthur and his chassis division has definitely put together a good one here. In our first long race, over 40 laps, we have a photo finish that causes some controversy. But Steven, how was the run today? How was the car? Even compared to the last version of our plate setup, I know you were actually my pick to win this race, and I know you were a huge critic last week when we were trying to put this together. I know early on in our practice, you weren't really happy with how he was handling, with how the tires were falling off. How do you feel now after winning an 80-lap race?
I'm still not happy with it, but I mean, I'm adjust myself to the actual setup. Beforehand, I put a lot of laps in with the other setup, and I was able to run very consistent laps and everything. This one is a little different. You start off pretty strong, and then it dies off, and then it comes back. And I think it's what happened with Brock. He pulled away early because everyone took tires, and we got up there, and then our tires wore off while his tires came back in.
From driver to driver, as I'm going to be running this race tomorrow, just a little insider information, if you don't mind. After you guys took tires on that first caution around lap 9, lap 10, I know that the tires do eventually fall off, but at the end, were you able to make moves kind of like you were on new tires, where, maybe with less gasoline in your tank? What was it? Was it a lot easier to make moves rather than the middle portion of the race at the end, or were we just seeing desperation?
More at the end, we were able to actually make a little bit more moves. The speeds were actually better then than were at the beginning of the race when you had actually new tires. You just had to get the tires warmed up. I was trying to scrub the tires, keep them warm before we started off. I don't know if that helped or not, but that's what it seemed like when the tires were actually hot, that we were able to make a little bit more moves.
Awesome, Steven. Thanks for with us here in Victory Lane. So any final words for the winner and could be pole sitter, depending on the final lap times of tomorrow night's winner, hopefully me. Any final words for you, Steven?
I just want to thank my teammate, Rock. Like you said, 1-2 for Giveaway Motorsports. Thank XCAL, TNB Ventures, LSRTV, and DMD for help sponsoring the whole year and also the race. And I also want to give out a shout out to my my family, my extended family in Israel, and I hope everyone stays safe over there.
Thank you, Steven. We'll definitely be praying for them. As we know, there's been a lot of stuff going on over there. But I'm going to bring it back to Carl and Mark Arthur in the booth, also joined now with Paul Coleman, and we'll try to wrap this thing up.
Have a good one.
Race 1 of 2 of the 120-mile races is in the books. Controversy, but Steve Wetton, congratulations on your win. So, guys, what are your thoughts?
Well, I look at this just like my trips to the horse track there. I made 2 picks, and look at that. They finished second and third. Never can get the exacta right, but we learned a lot. Brock was able to run the whole race, not taking any tires, and was able to hold his own. He lost a little on the restarts each time with the fresh tires, but he was able to get it back. So I really don't think, tires are going to be as big of a deal as we mentioned, as long as you keep it on there long enough to where it doesn't blow up on you. I learned a lot on the restart with 20 laps to go. I took no fuel, but did have tires, and I was like a bat out of hell for about 15 laps. I was just absolutely flying. So short runs, tires are going to be good. Long runs, I think that you want the older tires. That's what I learned tonight going into Thursday.
Mark, what do you think? What you got? Any thoughts on this?
Just watching it, I seem to learn a lot. I learned I'm not going to flirt with that white line and get myself a black flag. Second thing, I'm going to have to get out and do some testing on long runs. I never seen the long runs play out like they did today, in testing. I did a bunch of 80 and 100 lap runs and didn't seem to be that much quicker. So I might need to reevaluate my line and figure out what I'm going to do tomorrow. So I'll probably put in a little testing tonight or tomorrow and see what happens. But yeah, I might have a little bit different strategy after watching this race. A little bit different watching it than sitting in the car and actually driving it. And I know I'm going to stay away from that white line.
Well, Aaron, we've seen a lot of great racing tonight. Not as much side-by-side racing, I think, as what they thought we were going to see, but it came down to a finish for the ages. That's going to go in the books as probably one of the more interesting finishes. What are your thoughts on this race tonight?
Carl, you were exactly right. iRacing got it wrong, I guess. From our fight, I guess you could call it either way. iRacing going by the timing and scoring that's on the noses of the car, or going by a photo finish that a fan actually happened to catch there above the car, where it shows Stephen Wetton's fender just probably about a couple inches longer hanging over the finish line than Brock Holson's. So with this being just a qualifying race, it'll probably fade into memories. But if this had this been a real race, there would have been a little more of a protest from either driver, on the losing end. But like Mark said, I've learned a lot. There's definitely an advantage of not running the first race and running the second one. It definitely makes me reevaluate the tires and how important they are on a long run versus a short run. And as always, as every driver is, I'm eager to get back in the car and figure out my game plan for tomorrow. And I'm lucky that I will have Mark Arthur and Aaron Hillbush, my 2 teammates, in the race tomorrow. So hopefully we can work together and come out 1, 2, 3.
Well, after a little bit over an hour of a rain delay today, we finally had this race in the books. First 120 is over. The inside line is now decided. Tomorrow we will decide the outside line, and we will also pick our pole sitter. I'm Carl Jones. Sitting up here with me is Aaron Keith. Down on pit road, Mark Arthur. We have Paul Coleman, who is doing a great job as our in-car reporter. I also want to thank Laurel Larson down there pushing the buttons, making all this happen. Thank you for watching, and God bless.